I'm WBTV Chief Meteorologist Al Conklin here in the First Alert Weather Center with another version of First Alert. And we're going to start off with a check of the tropics. We're going to look at fall color. We're going to look at your weekend forecast. There's a lot to cover here, so I'm glad you're with us. All right, let's take a look at the tropics. It's been really active here lately. So here's what we're looking at in the tropics right now. We still have Hurricane Imelda. The good news about Imelda is now starting to show some signs of weakening. It is a Category 1 hurricane. Top winds at the last report were about 85 miles per hour. It's already blown through Bermuda, so it's on by there. And as it heads over the North Atlantic over the next day or two, it will continue to lose some strength. And in fact, by this time tomorrow, it's forecast to be a tropical storm and then lose most of its tropical characteristics as we get into the weekend. So there's nothing close by that we have to be too concerned about off the Carolina coast. So if you're heading to the beaches anytime soon, you should be okay. But there is some cloudiness down around Florida. Again, there's Imelda. That's moving away. So we're not going to be too concerned about that any longer. But this is the next area of concern. You see some cloudiness off of Florida and the Bahamas right now. And anything that develops here is going to track west-northwestward across Florida and into the Gulf this weekend. And so there's right now only a 10% chance of development on this. It's not a high likelihood. But of course, this time of the year, the Gulf is wide open. It's very, very warm water. So we have to always be concerned about anything in that neighborhood, as we always have to keep our eyes out to what's happening out deeper into the tropics, because again, out that way, anything that develops there and moves westward could be a threat for the United States at some point. I don't know that this will ever be, but you can see it here where it is right now. This is literally just coming off of the off of the west coast of Africa now. And so as this thing continues to push westward, at the moment, there's only a 20% chance of development on this, but that is probably going to change over time. So I want to urge you to make sure that you're checking in from time to time with us here at WBTV so that if anything changes on this, you'll know what's going on. Now, of course, we still are in the throes of hurricane season. We've just come out of September. That is the month where we get literally a third of all activity, but we still get 17% of activity in October, and there's certainly been episodes of major hurricanes. Michael at Panama City, Florida, several years ago was just that. It was a Category 5 hurricane, so it can happen. And even in November. By the way, the season runs through about Thanksgiving, so again, we still have another couple of months to go before we can give it the all clear. Now, having said that, we're going to talk a little bit here about what's going on in our Carolina mountains. We're starting to get some great color. I was up there last week, and I spoke with Dr. Howie Neufeld. He's a biology professor at Appalachian State University, and he's given me kind of the rundown on what the color is looking like, not just right now, but also where we're going with this. So if you look at it, all those areas that you see in yellow, there's some color starting to show up, but where you've got areas where you're getting into the orange, you've got good color showing up. Well, where specifically is that? Those are going to be the highest elevations. That's going to be Grandfather Mountain. That's going to be Mount Mitchell. That's going to be down southwest of Asheville along the Tennessee line there in the Smokies. So we're starting to see some pockets of really good color. But what Howie was telling me was that we're still a little ways away from peak. The color is just now starting to come in. So if you're thinking Boone, Blowing Rock, West Jefferson, Asheville, and that 3,000 to 4,000 feet mark, well, you're going to have to wait a little while longer. Peak is typically going to be in that second and third week of October. So let's take a look at the rundown, what we have. Now, these are some estimates from explorefall.com, but they're all basically in the same sort of realm here. Highest peaks, like I said, around Mount Mitchell and Grandfather Mountain. That's going to be mid-October for the most part. Then you get into the mountains around Boone, Blowing Rock. That's 3,000 to 4,000 feet. Those are the population zones. That's the Blue Ridge Parkway. That's going to be in mid to late October. So anywhere from the 10th through about the 20th, 22nd, somewhere in that range. Then as you get into the foothills, it's more like late October around Halloween, even into early November. Here in the Piedmont, including Charlotte, oftentimes it's after Halloween. And you get into the Sand Hills and down into the coastal plain, it's almost all the way down towards, well, Thanksgiving before you get into the really peak color. So we got plenty of time to get up to the mountains and enjoy it. But I'm telling you, folks, I was up there last week and already starting to come in some of it, and they would love to have you up there. They need those dollars, that's for sure, especially after Helene coming through just over a year ago. Meantime, all right, let's take a look at our local weather. We've got great stuff going on right now. Lots of sunshine, clear skies in our forecast here in the Charlotte area. There's a little bit of cloudiness in the mountains this morning, but that is about it. You can see those clouds banked up across the mountains. That's because we have generally an east to northeast flow right now of drier air. But once those air parcels get over the Atlantic and they bank up against the mountains, you get a little bit of mist and drizzle to develop. We're seeing that in parts of Avery County, Watauga County right now, highest elevation. So this will burn off though, and you're going to have mostly sunny skies there as well. High temperatures today, east of the mountains will be in the low to mid 70s. In the mountains, they'll be in the low to mid 60s, and everybody will wind up with mostly sunny skies here by afternoon. It will be cold tonight. In fact, this is going to be one of the chillier nights that we have seen in a while, with lows going down into the 40s. Charlotte was in the mid 50s this morning, but keep in mind earlier in the week, it was in the upper 60s. So we were really warm. Now we're going to cool off a little bit. So overnight low temperatures here will wind up in the 40s across most of the WBTV viewing area. There may be some 30s in the mountains in spots. Charlotte, Gastonia, Rock Hill, Pineville, Huntersville up to Concord, probably 51, 52. Monroe, Lancaster, about 50. You're in the 40s this morning around Salisbury, Wadesboro, Rockingham. I think that's going to happen again tonight. That US 52 corridor is always cool. And Lenore, Morganton, I don't think you'll have the cloud cover that you had this morning that held you up, so you're going to wind up in the 40s as well. Cool, dry, high pressure is in command right now, so mostly sunny skies today and tomorrow. Now, this changes a little bit as we go deeper into the weekend. We start to see more cloud cover because that high is going to be off of the Virginia Capes, and that's going to pull some moisture in. You'll notice there's some showers that try to develop south of Charleston into North Florida. That's that onshore flow. We're not going to get showers, but we will get some cloud cover here, especially on Sunday. But even Saturday will feature at least some cloud cover, but I don't have any rain in the forecast through Sunday. That doesn't change until we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, where the rain chances start to inch up just a little bit. So your weekend forecast, as I said, I think it's going to be pretty good. Mostly sunny skies for Friday, mid 70s. Partly sunny on Saturday in the Charlotte metro area, upper 70s, and then upper 70s to about 80, depending on how much cloud cover we have on Sunday. And I see a high temperature holding close to that for early next week, but there will be more clouds on Sunday, possibly into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week as well. So if you're heading to the Panthers game on Sunday, kickoff temperature about 78 with times of clouds and sunshine, and a high temperature about 80 degrees. Next week looks like we will have slightly above average temperatures. And again, what's the normal high now? There you see at the top right, 78. Normal low is 57. Well, we were down there this morning. We'll be much cooler than that come tomorrow morning. Sun up in the morning at 7:20, and the sun will set at 6 minutes after 7 o'clock. Record high. Remember this a couple years ago? 99 degrees. It was brutal. We were in a flash drought. It was so hot. I just was so upset over October starting so hot with 100-degree weather. That's not the case, though, today. We'll come in a little bit below average at 75. 40s and low 50s tonight, 76 tomorrow, 78 on Saturday. We're close to 80 on Sunday. Now, next week, we do get into the possibility as that flow continues to turn more easterly and we get more cloud cover. There's also likely going to be a front that gets in here late and Wednesday, and that's going to likely trigger some showers and thunderstorms. So that's probably our next chance for rain. All right, that is your First Alert forecast. I appreciate you tuning in with us. And of course, the First Alert weather team will keep you posted throughout the day today and the weekend on any changes to the forecast. But right now, enjoy it. 75 today, mostly sunny skies.